Previously on Pretending with Dice.
I just want to save the little girl.
I've run up to you guys and I just want to say, did you guys see that? So I'm just going to sit and put my feet on the other chair and enjoy the fire.
Oh, bloody hell, what happened over there?
Okay, so some goblins attacked and they set fire to the building.
On the talk of death and things, is there like a town doctor's or hospital or something?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host and game master, AJ. To those of you who are listening to us for the first time, welcome along. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in a homebrewed setting. I'd recommend jumping back to our first episode to catch up on this story arc and get introduced to the characters you'll be hearing, but that's totally up to you. Those of you who've already listened to our first two episodes, welcome back. Either way, a big thank you to everyone for tuning in. I want to give a special shout out and big thanks to friend of the show, Martin Clemens, at Tenebrous Vacuum on Twitter, for suggesting the name of an NPC that was introduced in this episode. We're always looking for character name suggestions from listeners, and you can suggest one by getting in touch with us on Twitter or Facebook, both of which at Pretend with Dice. So yeah, finally, a brief recap of what happened in our last episode. Our characters Pronce, Bork and Enothe finished up their encounter with a gang of goblins who they had come across attacking a small cottage just outside the rural town of Erivale. During the fight, they rescued the only survivor of the attack, a young girl named Samaya, who the goblins seemed to be intent on kidnapping. During the attack, Pronce had managed to set fire to the cottage, something which the group decided to blame on the goblins themselves, and the villagers they ran across completely bought their story on this, and no more was said about it. The group then headed into the town itself, delivering Samaya to her uncle, a town watchman by the name of Lambert, who told them that several children had gone missing from the town in the last week or so. So yeah, as we jump back in, the party had just asked for directions to anyone who could heal Bork of his injuries from the battle. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back into it.
Please.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a couple of healers around.
Just healers.
Well, I know we're not in a big city. We don't talk,
Magic is definitely a thing.
Can always
fine with a healer.
You just go to the temple. I mean, clerics will be able to help you.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there.
Whereabouts is the house you said the most recent child was taken from?
Well, it wasn't the most recent, but it was the first. He lives just north of town.
And where was the most recent one?
Well, the last couple have just been... Well, we think they're missing. They're just orphan kids.
Okay, so the first one was north of town.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to the tavern and ask around about that, and also get Pronce off the street.
Yeah. I mean, as he's kind of explaining this to you, the back door kind of opens, and this slightly older looking, you put him like middle-aged, a lot fatter kind of other watch officer kind of comes in. He's sort of leaning on the door frame, like listening, and when he hears that Lambert is telling you about missing children, he says, "How many times I have to tell you, Lambert? Some of those kids is tragedy, but there ain't no conspiracy."
We didn't say anything about conspiracy.
Dodgy as fuck.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that wasn't directed at you. It was more like he's had it up to here with like.
With his renegade ways.
Yeah, like, give me a gun and your badge. You're off the case. But no, he's sort of, he's kind of, he's sort of a little bit sort of smiling in the corner of his mouth, like, oh, here he goes again, sort of that sort of thing. You get the idea. This is, he's a quiet country policeman. He doesn't want any ideas of sort of big.
Pretty sure a hot fuzz at this point. I turn to the man and say,
a great big bushy beard.
I turn to the man and say, "Have you got any chunky monkey?" Laugh to myself and then say,
he looks a little bit perplexed.
Is there anything we can do that might be able to help?
Just keep yourself to yourself and leave the watch business to watch folk, eh?
You heard the man.
Yeah. He seems a little hostile to you guys, and the topic in general, you get the idea. But
I'm gonna whisper to Bork that we should keep an eye on him.
Sure. I'll give you a knowing wink.
Oh, a knowing wink is exchanged.
We should probably go outside and find Pronce.
Yeah, I think so.
Have I had enough time to...
Yeah, let's say
familiar?
over the course of the conversation, that about 10 minutes
It's
has
an awkward
passed, and
conversation anyway.
just as they leave, you finish your ritual casting and summon your
Wonderful.
familiar.
My familiar is a anthropomorphic version of the symbol that I have, if I can have this.
Okay, this might be a little bit of a stretch.
It's literally like a spiritual, like, it's the shape, but it's animated.
Okay.
It moves like, in my mind's eye, it moves like the rug from Aladdin.
Familiars are normally like you'd be like an animal companion or something. I'll just check the spell.
Maybe
for you.
a dove.
Well, this was my other thought, was if I can't have the anthropomorphic print symbol, then...
The spell is summon familiar. Am I right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it a symbol formerly known as something?
It's the symbol, the androgyny symbol, the one that you can't. So there is no word to speak the character.
Funny that.
How is it written on the sheet?
What, the actual move?
The spell.
The spell. Find familiar.
Oh,
ritual.
find familiar. Sorry, I was looking at it as. Okay, find familiar. You gain the service of a familiar, a spirit that takes an animal form you choose, appearing in an unoccupied space. Your range.
A dove is an animal.
Yeah.
God, that's simple.
And he is functional.
Can we say it's an animal that's never been seen before? It's an animal that like everybody looks at it and is like, what is that?
I mean, not really. I mean, you could pick an animal that you get the feeling that people around here might not have seen, but it would have to be an animal. Okay,
it's
so
a dove.
Okay.
Just a crying dove.
So as you guys come out, I summon my dove, and I see that you're coming, and I'm like, behold,
Dove from above.
Apollonia is her name. And then that's mostly it. Like it's kind of like I do a big moment of like, ta-da,
Yeah.
and then immediately it just washes off of me. Like,
Yeah.
and next.
Yeah. Don't worry, it washed stuff off us too. Right,
The find
Perplexed.
familiar ritual normally does take a little longer than 10 minutes. I can't remember if that's overridden by
It says-
the feature.
Ritual and ritual casting here.
Because I mean, you can do rituals anyway. That's like it doesn't take an extra thing. I think the thing that you've got there is that ritual casting means that's just instead of.
Well, I'll keep summoning this thing if they want to go. And
It's normally like an hour casting time, and it takes some components.
Which components have I got them on me?
Have you got? Does it say like component pouch in your inventory?
I've got a scholar's pack.
Scholars pack. I mean, you really should have a components pouch as well. So let's just say, yeah, you've kind of emptied your components pouch. We'll say, yeah, just this once. You've kind of,
For the sake of getting it
for the
done.
sake of brevity, yeah, you've summoned your familiar.
It's either that or I make them wait for me and they can go and do what they like.
Yeah, I mean, really, either like he catches you guys up in 50 minutes or he has it now, sort of thing.
Oh, you're the DM.
Yeah, okay. I want to just say, yeah, you've.
Cool, I have a dove named Apollonia
Yeah.
that is now floating around my shoulders.
And with a name like that, I think we're going to find out what happens when doves cry.
Demonstrate.
Da 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 da.
I'm out. Jump behind the sofa.
Okay, so
So are we going to go and get Bork healed up first? Is that our first port of call, is to get you back,
I mean,
back
I'll-
up to full strength?
I'm happy to meet you guys somewhere at the tavern if you like. I can go off to the temple.
Well, why don't we go to the temple quickly
Okay, we'll go find a
together,
healer.
just because I kind of feel like I need to keep an eye on both of you.
Pronce is just like, so what happened? Like, what did the guys tell you?
Yeah. Maybe you should have hung around and listened.
Oh, well, if you want to be like that, then whatever.
Lots of
I'm sorry, dude,
children
I'm
have
just under
been.
a lot of stress right now.
Oh, it's okay, I get it, Bork.
You're not dying just yet. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Some children have been going missing. They're mostly orphans, but the first one happened in a place north of town. The guy in charge of the watch area, it seemed a little bit hostile towards us. It might be worth keeping an eye on.
Okay. Interesting to know.
okay, so heading towards the temple, you can see that there's it's quite large, well, larger than any of the other buildings in here. It looks to be 2-3 stories high. It's got a spire that's about another story on top of that. It does have some religious iconography on the outside. Can I get a religion check if you guys want to see if you recognise the deity?
I got +5 religion, so
I mean, anyone can make the check because you might know it anyway. But like if you,
Let's see. I got 14 + 5, so 19.
19. You recognise the symbols as those of Shantea, the goddess of agriculture.
Okay.
But, we're out here in it's farmlands. All the town sort of surrounded by farms and that, and it sort of seems to be the most kind of relevant god or goddess to the people of this town.
Okay.
So you also know the symbol is a sheaf of grain, and a blooming rose. Sort of that's kind of painted onto the doors in a quite nice embossed pattern. Going inside, it's kind of it seems very peaceful. It's nice and cool inside. This seems to be one of the one stone structures in town, and it does look, like I say, it looks a little older than some of the surrounding buildings. There's an altar up front, a few rows of pews and that, and you can see sort of a couple of attendants moving about.
Is there anybody that's very obviously like the guy in charge?
Make a perception check.
6.
I mean, it takes you a few seconds. You're kind of wowed a little bit by the thing, but eventually, you do see a sort of bit more senior looking sort of rogue guy moving around.
As the resident religion expert, I'm going to go and take it upon myself to introduce our little crew to the guy that's in charge of everything.
Sure. Okay.
Is there a religious greeting I could give him? Perhaps as I'm fairly knowledgeable about this stuff, I'd like to come in like as hot as possible.
Okay. Make another religion check. For me.
So we got. I got religion of 15.
15. For this particular deity, you would think something along the lines of like.
What are we talking?
Could I just?
What are we discussing in particular here?
Like a religious greeting.
A religious greeting of some sort. Like, can I just like maybe clasp hands and bow, or maybe give him some equivalent thing?
Yeah,
just like bountiful harvest.
Yeah, bountiful harvest for you, sir.
Bountiful harvest to you, good sir.
Yeah.
And is he taken by that? Is that a good start?
He regards you as like, okay, this is sort of the greeting I would, it's not out of place. I
was hoping to get a leg up on that.
Yeah. It's he's not. It's not like you've walked up and gone, chill out. But yeah, he sort of he nods. He's like, oh, well, welcome to the temple. How may I help you?
Well, my friend here, Bork, and I'll give a little gesture. He's kind of looking a little worse for wear, as you might have gathered, and we've been led to understand that you might be the person to help.
Well, my good, I can certainly try my best. Yes, I believe I have some healing spells. Let me go and grab my book. He sort of he shuffles off into a side room. He's an elderly gentleman. You put him sort of mid-60s, something like that. And he returns after a couple of minutes with sort of... It doesn't look like a spell book like you've seen. It does appear to be a slightly more religious sort of tome kind of thing. He places a hand on you, Bork, and it's a couple of seconds and you feel a warmth start to spread from his fingers. You regain...
Tingly.
Johnny.
I'm observing Bork being touched with a raised eyebrow.
You regain 13 hit points.
13 hit
Put you back up to 21.
Yeah. You feel on your side your stab wounds start to knit back together a little bit.
Ooh, tingly.
So you're not quite all the way back, but he's definitely cleared up the worst of it.
Yeah. 21.
Not dying.
Forever thanks to you, dude.
He looks at you a little bit funnier for this, and like you bowed a little too low, and your greeting's a little off.
My religion isn't.
But he's like, okay, yeah, you're welcome any time. What brings you travellers to the town?
Kids.
If you'll excuse, I want to say my associate, but that's probably too strong a word. We're here because we just happen to be travelling this way. On our way, we managed to get into more trouble than we intended to.
We found a child.
we saved a child from goblins. We were just talking to the guardsmen, and they were saying that there's been an issue with children going missing. Do you know anything about it?
Well, a little. What gossip I hear comes to the temple. Well, of course, a week ago, Martin Sommerfeld's boy went missing, and a couple of the orphans. We normally, we feed them and give them a place to sleep, but they haven't been back. It's odd.
That's the second time we've had Martin Sommerfeld mentioned. We should go and check out Martin Sommerfeld. Should we stop by the tavern first?
Yeah, let's go and get paid.
I was thinking more for information, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. I want a drink.
There we go.
Drink too, yeah.
As you turn to leave, he's like, "Well, bountiful harvest to you."
And a bountiful harvest to you as well.
Okay, he makes like a sort of religious sort of hand gesture.
I half-heartedly say it back and walk off.
I'd like to give the most over the top and practiced return of his gesture that I could possibly give as these guys are sort of dismissing it.
Make a performance check for me.
I've got performance of 0, so
this could go either way.
12.
Okay, he gets the gist of it. He's kind of like you've made a better job of observing the gesture than these two, who just basically gave him like a bit of a see you later.
So as we're walking away, I kind of nudge both of you like, did you see that?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Yeah. To the tavern. Okay. By now it's sort of the sun's starting to go down. You can't. The smoke has stopped from the distance as well.
Okay,
as you're sort of heading back towards that end of town, where the inn is, the Duchess. So yeah, it's getting sort of early evening time. As you enter the tavern, you're greeted by Titus Goldenbrew. He's sort of sat at the bar, and it's another dwarf behind. There's another dwarf behind the bar. Looks a little bit younger. You would guess it's his daughter. Filtering through the haze of anecdotes and everything you were subjected to over a couple of days, you remember that he runs the inn with his eldest daughter.
I'm gonna motion to Pronce to go get our money.
I'm already going for it.
I would say, he probably. But while we go to the bar.
Okay. As he sees you all approach, he's going, "Oh, there you are, lads. What happened with the house?"
We ran into some trouble.
Trouble? Oh, God, no. Well, you look fine to me.
That's only because of a healer.
Yeah.
There was some goblins. There was some fire. We rescued a child. It doesn't really matter.
Well, that sounds like a story.
I'm not telling it to you.
Well, fair enough.
Just give us the money. You're insufferable, and I really don't want to talk to you.
Well, that's
just the money, the drinks. Oh, do you know anything about the kidnappings?
Well, no, I've been out of town.
Do you know? Do you know Martin?
Oh, Martin, yeah, he comes in here every so often. Not really a regular though. Keeps himself to himself.
Pronce just holds out his hand, like, pay me now.
Okay, he turns and he's like, he turns to his daughter and says, okay. Well, Thor, give him the money. Give him the money. I said 15 each, wasn't it?
And a free drink.
And then Pronce turns his hand towards the daughter, saying nothing, and just kind of gestures again, like,
she kind
money
of,
now.
Yeah,
come on.
she's raising an eye, like she kind of gives you guys. You get the feeling she's more like, oh God, he's been telling stories again, sort of thing. Like she's more sort of like, oh Dad, sort of thing. And she hands over the money without a word. Says, will you be staying the night? We got a couple of rooms upstairs for you.
Yes, I'll take everything he's given us.
Like she seems happy that her dad's been delivered. So you get the feeling she's a little bit of a worrier about him.
I did take these guys aside and just ask them, like, should we take this room?
Yes.
Are we gonna owe something to them?
I don't think we're gonna do anything. I'm interested to stay in the town, so I guess there's no harm. Although I don't need a bed, so.
Well, sun's setting, so I suppose. Yeah.
Why don't
you can keep watch on us.
Why don't you two go and sleep? I'm gonna ask around about the kidnappings.
Okay, sure. Are there any wenches, sir?
That's a very formal.
You say it in that way. You're like, "Hello, sir. Do you have any wenches?"
Are there any wenches today?
So, well, no. I mean, me and Thor are on the bar together, but there's a couple of might be a couple of ladies in later on. You never know. Well, it's not a lot to do in Erivale, besides have a couple of pints of an evening.
Speaking of which, could I get my free drink, please?
Thora's already pouring it behind it. Like, she's sort of like... She gets the feeling you guys are a little bit, like... frustrated with her dad. She sees you're still covered in blood.
Yeah.
It's just you're no longer bleeding.
Yeah, my clothes have stains and stuff. I'm ready for a drink.
She pushes the 3 drinks for you. There you go, lads. Bottoms up, I guess.
So we'll have our drinks, and then we're in the late evening, or are we now?
Yeah, it's kind of.
Should we just relax in the bar for a little bit? You said Enothe, you were going to go out and ask around and what have you, and as you're fresh as a daisy and what have you.
I was going to ask in the tavern. I don't see the point of going out. If there's news to be had, it'll be in the tavern.
True. Everybody goes there in the evening to have their meals and their drinks and what have you.
Rumours spread fast.
Rumours do spread fast.
Yeah, in fact, actually, after you're in there for maybe 45 minutes, an hour before, it wasn't empty when you came in, but mostly people were keeping themselves to having small conversations. After about an hour, group of people enter. 1 or 2 of them you recognise as being in the group who you passed running to go put the fire out earlier on, and they walk up to the bar. They're a little bit soot stained and that, but you get the feeling if they're here, the fire's either out or the house is completely gone at this point.
Hey, man.
Well, the fire would be out either way.
What's the state of the house?
Oh, it's in a bad way. Save the barn and some other bits, but that main building had to be completely rebuilt.
Pronce slides down in his chair.
We look at Pronce knowingly,
witheringly.
The dove flies around crying.
What noise does it make?
Nobody can quite describe it.
Fair enough.
It's a crap impression. It's not bad.
It's somewhere between all of these.
That's what it sounds like when doves cry.
While these 2 are looking awkward, I'm going to wander around the bar and see if I can pick up anything from other people's conversations.
Sure, okay. You just kind of eavesdropping?
Eavesdropping here and there.
Okay. Seems to be a lot of chatter about the deaths of the people whose daughter you saved. Obviously, this is it's not a big town, so news like that is quite serious. Mostly not really anything else that you don't know yourselves, having been there. You do hear one person sort of say, "Oh, that's what you get for living that far out of the village." Again, you don't really put that down to being like, there's no malicious intent behind it. They're just sort of like
classic local.
Yeah, classic locals. Local bands. But they other than that though, you do hear one little bit of gossip which isn't related to that, and you only hear like a snippet of it as you're kind of stalking around, and it seems to be something to do with an attempted break-in at the temple.
Did you try and break into the temple?
I've been with you for the entire time we've been here.
Did you try to break into the temple?
I've been with you for the entire
You went outside
time
for
we've
10
been
minutes. Did you try to break into the temple? Did you just capture a dove? Is that even your familiar? Is that why it's crying?
I don't know why you guys don't trust me.
Well, it's not that we don't trust you, just a little bit off.
I'll give you that. But no, I didn't try and break into the temple. I sat and I summoned my familiar. As you can see, Apollonia, she's beautiful.
Could you get your familiar to keep an eye on the temple?
I could have the familiar fly off. If I did read in the rules, breaking character. I did read in the rules something about being able to use.
You can have your familiar to
classic Deadpool.
You can have your familiar do things.
I know it can launch spells through the familiar to give me extra range.
Jesus.
Okay, so basically, it acts independently of you, but it always obeys your commands. In combat, it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own. So basically, it's different from like a companion pet, where like for saying the ranger class, like you'd act like you'd be like, and the pet does this, like it, as I say, independently. So I'd be doing what it does. Can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. When it drops to 0 hit points, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form. It reappears after you cast the spell again. While it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. As an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn. During this time, you are deaf and blind with regards to your own senses.
Okay, so I can send him off. Is the temple more than 100 feet away?
It's a little bit.
But I could send I can't send him to the temple, but I can send him right outside the door, and we can have a quick look right now and see if anything's going on.
Why don't you two go up to the rooms? Why don't you both up to the same room? You keep an eye on Pronce while he's deaf and blind, and you keep an eye on the temple. I'm gonna listen some more about the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, the temple's further than 100 feet away, so you could.
But can I see it from the location that we're at right now? If I were
stick
to
your head out
send
the
my
window.
dog outside and send it 50 feet up in the air,
I mean,
I've got a good view of what's happening.
You could send it 100 feet closer to the temple and.
Well, I'm thinking just in terms of like a bird's eye view. I might as well take advantage of height and everything.
Yeah, you could send it up and get a bit of a better sight on the town. Yeah, if you wanted to do that.
Yeah. So we'll go up to the
to
bed.
our rooms. Yeah.
Me and Bork are going to go to the bedroom together. And, I'm going to go deaf and blind.
Which we're okay with because this is a progressive society.
Meanwhile, in the boudoir.
Yes. I'll just sit and scope it out, and Bork can keep an eye.
Sure. Okay. I mean, you don't. You make your way up to the rooms. They're comfortable enough for small towns and a country inn. Enough room for all three of you in there, really. But like you say, you're just kind of going to trance your way through it, aren't you? You still do need to rest. You just don't need to rest as long as the others.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're going to sort of sit on the bed and send it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll assume a nice meditative position.
Yeah.
And then do the old white eyes and.
Yeah, it's a full. Okay, so
right
channeling. The familiar obeys your commands. It's close enough that you can communicate with it telepathically. So you give it the order to head off. You sit cross-legged on your bed. You kind of focus in on it in your mind. You can kind of you can picture it going up, and as your vision sort of flashes in to the head of the familiar, and all of a sudden you can see and hear where you are. It's a little disorienting at first. You haven't done it with this particular type of familiar before, but all of a sudden you find yourself. You can see all the town and the surrounding fields. Focusing in on the temple, I mean, it doesn't seem out of place. It doesn't seem really any. You don't see any movement on the roof or anything like that. It just sort of, it's
business as usual.
Business as usual, as far as you can tell. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll continue to look over on that for now.
Okay, you're just kind of
stand guard, so
you're sort of CCTVing it.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Arcade CCTV.
Yeah, that's one use. Okay, Bork, what are you doing while he's sort of meditating and being CCTV?
I'm casually reminding people that we got given for 15 gold pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Yes, so I'm keeping an ear out. I'm going to ask the people about the break-in of the temple.
Sure. Okay.
I wonder how many quests I'm going to pick up because it's already the kidnap one and the break-in of the temple one.
Yeah. They're a little bit sort of speak to you in hush whispers about it. You get the feeling this is sort of like it's very much gossip. They don't really know a lot, but they heard that a couple of nights ago, some guy tried to break into the temple, and after the watch caught him, he's ranting and raving and doesn't speak sense at all. He's locked up in the cells.
He's locked up in the cells. I know someone else who doesn't speak sense. Maybe we can send him to speak to him tomorrow.
They kind of chuckle and go, "Oh, nah, the bloke in the purple robes."
He's, yeah.
He is what he is.
Anyway, thank you for your help. Is there anywhere around here I can buy equipment?
Well, not this time of night. But yeah, you go to the blacksmith. Well, it depends on what you're after.
Arrows. I should probably buy more arrows.
Yeah, he can sort you out at the blacksmith.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
Always.
Then can I go chat with the barmaid?
Sure. So Thora is the daughter of.
How are you describing Thora?
You'd put again maybe late 30s. No, late 30s. She's the older daughter of Titus. He's.
Do you know what? That's creepy. I'm 128. She's like a kid.
Everything.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to be like, ruffle her hair, and then I'm going to go.
That's really rude.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. No, she's she seems very professional in her manner, and that she's I'm going to
talk to her about her dad.
Okay. Well, what are you asking?
Does your dad go on these trips often?
Oh yeah, we brew some ale out back in the we got a brew house around the back. Takes it up to Wild River. Sells a couple of casks of it now and then. Helps pay for some of our imports.
That's always good. Do you worry about him for any reason in particular?
Nah, he's getting on a bit. We've been in this town for years, and then Mum and my little sister moved away, and it's just me and my dad now. I worry for him. The road's a dangerous place sometimes.
Why did your mum and sister leave?
Mum got involved with Uncle Artus.
Oh, that really did happen.
Yeah. Oh, he told you about that, did he?
He mentioned that and a lot of other things. He talks a lot, your dad.
Yeah, he sure does. You look over at this point, and Titus is kind of holding court at the end of the bar. You can tell he's got a couple of regulars that we're sort of friends with, and one of them slaps him on the back, and there's sort of uproarious laughter, and like you get, he's used to people listening to his stories, so he kind of assumed you guys would as well.
He's not a bad person.
He's not a bad guy. He's just he's sort of set in his ways. He's runs
classic farmer.
Classic farmer.
I'm going to go upstairs and ask if Pronce has seen anything with his dove eyes.
You haven't really seen a lot. No,
I'm coming back out of the trance, I suppose, to say hello to whoever's in the room. I wake up and you're there. And it's like, yeah, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Well, from what I heard, it was someone who's been actually locked up who tried to break in, so we should probably go and talk to him tomorrow. Although I also think we should go and talk to this Martin fellow. Do you guys have any thoughts on which way we should go?
I think maybe we should start with the guy we can talk to most easily.
So the guy in the cells for you?
Oh, I was thinking the other guy.
Okay, that's good.
Because he's not in the cells.
It's one of the few times you've made any sense. Yeah, sure, we can go for that. That makes a lot more sense.
Sweet, I'm going to set fire to it.
No. We were so close. No, let's not set fire to him.
Almost made it a whole episode without any pyromania.
Almost. Let's not set fire to him. Why don't you guys get some sleep? I'm going to have another drink and then I'm going to...
We'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Bork, you feeling sleepy, or do you want me to cast a spell and make it happen for you?
I'd like it if you stayed on your side of the room, and I'll stay on my side of the room.
With that, I lay down on the bed and send my familiar to hover directly above his bed.
I'll sleep on you.
I'm starting to get used to this kind of behaviour, so I just roll over and fall asleep.
Sure. Okay. Are you consciously looking through the familiar's eyes, or are you just?
I wasn't thinking that, but now I am. No. I've just sent the familiar to sort of hover over him as he rests, as kind of that's in Pronce's mind at least. That's a kind gesture. That's
you're not actively messing with him.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't want Apollonia to be watching over them as they slept?
No one.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
So with that, I close my eyes and relax.
Yeah,
and
you drift off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please let 8 hours fast forward.
So you only need to. Can you remind me again of what it says for?
So I've got a
trance sleep.
I have to meditate for 4 hours,
yeah.
But I get to remain semi-conscious.
So yeah, instead of a full night's rest, you can do that instead.
So I'm gonna ask the barmaid if she has just anywhere. Not the bedroom upstairs, but if there's anywhere quiet out the back or something, I can just go and rest.
Well, sure. We keep the horses out back in the stables, and the brew house is not exactly quiet though. We're, fermenting and whatnot.
That's fine. I'm going to go there and meditate.
Sort of hang out by in the brew house, or
with the horses.
With the horses. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, you make your way. She shows you around to the side of the inn, where you saw the cart. There's some small stables kind of round in a little courtyard around the back there, and the horses, seem fairly comfortable with your presence. There's the same horses that you've been travelling with the last couple of days. So yeah.
So I'm going to pet them, and then
So the horses do know who he is?
Yes.
That was a Prince song reference.
That's a bit obscure for my liking, but yeah.
It's a line from Raspberry Beret.
Oh man!
Break into the barn and the horses don't know who you are.
Oh god, that was.
We are Pronce deep in these references.
I like it. It's good.
So I'm going to meditate. Is there anything that happens in the next 4 hours?
Make a perception check for me.
So I got 12.
12. Nothing you really notice, no. And the horses seem restful. It's quiet out. It's sleepy town.
Okay.
You don't hear anything.
Cool.
Okay. So, 4 hours passes. It's now 1 a.m, something like that. You've come out of your trance fully rested.
Okay.
These two are still
asleep.
asleep for at least another 4 or 5 hours or so.
Is the tavern still open?
You can't hear any sounds from inside. There's still some. You can see some candles burning through the windows, but you guess maybe if anyone's up, it'd just be kind of either probably from your read of what the actual kind of professional relationship is. It's probably Thora who might still be up cleaning, but Titus has probably stumbled to bed.
I'm going to go back into the tavern and see what's going on.
Okay, it's pretty much deserted. There's still a couple of candles lit by the bar. No sign of anyone really around.
Okay. I'm going to leave the tavern and go check out the temple then.
Okay. Are you just straight walking through the town? Or
I'm sneaking.
Sneaking? Okay.
Sneaky. Super sneaky.
Okay, can I get a stealth check from you?
No. Yes. I rolled... so I got 17.
17. Okay. So yeah, you're very light-footed as an elf anyway, and you're a rogue. So you spent your life kind of learning to be sneaky. So you make your way through town pretty much silently. Sticking to the streets, or are you climbing roofs?
I climb roofs. Wait, how do I climb roofs? Is that acrobatics?
I'll let you choose either acrobatics or athletics for getting up onto a roof.
I've got 3 in either, so
it's up to you. Acrobatics would be like you'd do some cool flips off.
Let's do acrobatics.
Go for it.
It's ninja mode. A sick backflip onto the roofs, and we got a 10 in
10.
total.
I mean, it's not as sick as you wanted it to be, but you get up there.
Okay, that's fine. Didn't fall off. I'll take it. So I'm wandering around town towards the temple.
Okay, so make your way along the roofs. You make it back to the town square. Moonlit night. There's no clouds or anything really. You do notice as you approach the square, looks to be a dark figure just creeping along the side, hurrying, but not heading towards the temple or anything, just kind of making their way along the side of the square, sort of moving obviously making their way back from somewhere. They haven't noticed you.
Okay, I'm going to follow them.
Okay. Can I get another stealth check from you? Before you were just kind of sneaking, now you're following someone.
We've got 13.
Okay, I'm going to have to roll a perception check. Okay, so they don't seem to notice you, although they do pause a couple of times and kind of look up and around, but you notice them turning quickly enough to sort of duck behind a chimney and that. You follow the figure, they've got a hood up, you can't really see them, they're quite large build. And they go into... you follow them for 5 minutes, and then they go into a small house, small cottage.
Okay, I'm going to go down and see if I can look in through the windows.
Okay. Make a perception check.
10.
10, okay. So, most of the windows have curtains drawn, but as you kind of creep around a little bit, you finally find one... there's one that the curtains are still there's a slight gap in the curtains, and a candle has been lit on the inside. You recognise just a glimpse of him as he walks past and into another room. It looks to be the senior police officer.
Fucking knew it.
The one who you saw before.
Classic NPC.
Yeah. Bear in mind, he wasn't going near the temple or anything, you just saw him walking around at night, that's all.
But hurriedly with a hood up.
Yeah.
Looks suspicious.
I mean, it doesn't look unsuspicious.
I'm going to keep an eye on him as best as I can.
Sure, okay. let's say you creep around to the room that he went into. You can kind of just about make out some shapes moving. You get the feeling he's going to bed.
Okay. I'm gonna climb onto the roof of it.
Sure.
And keep an eye on the house.
Can I get another acrobatics check or athletics, whichever?
Oh, fucking hell. I got 5.
Not sick.
It's not easy to get up on this house for some reason.
It was not the sickest of backflips.
It was not like it takes you a good couple of minutes to kind of claw your way. Are you going onto his roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes you a couple of minutes.
That's fine. I'm then going to just generally keep an eye on the area.
Okay, you're just chilling out
and see if I can hear or see anything suspicious, I guess.
Okay, it's I mean, over the next couple of hours you can you start to hear the sounds of snoring from inside the house. The moon goes round. About, you would guess, are you just going to chill out there for the rest of the evening?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the sun starts to rise. Later on you can still hear the sounds of snoring in there. It doesn't appear that this guy's an early riser at all or anything. But about 5 a.m, you two, Bork and Pronce, you wake up. You've had a good night's sleep. Bork, you wake up and you see the dove still hovering above your head. Like only like a foot and a half above you. It's not like it's like right there. You open your eyes and there's this dove just like not crying at the moment, but yeah.
I'm going to try and flap it away.
I mean,
I just sit up and watch this with amusement. Like, this is my entertainment for the morning right here.
It doesn't really move. It doesn't seem to be like scared of your arms waving or anything.
This dude's getting on my tits. I'm going to begrudgingly just get up and get dressed. And
you've had a long rest now, so all of your hit points are back up to top. All of your spell slots are back up to top. Yours were as well, but you didn't take any damage and you don't have any spells, so you're fine.
Yeah, boy!
So yeah, like I say, sun comes up. There's no sign of any more movement from the police officer's house, but you can hear him snoring. He's sort of... you do notice sounds of other people in town waking up. It's approaching sort of 6 a.m. now, and
I'm aware that we are the only two in the room, so I'm guessing we are one man short. So, Pronce, you want to go look for
let's go and have a look for our strange, creepy compatriot.
You do see, as you leave the room, you can smell coming.
Creeps around. That's all I mean. I don't mean it nasty.
Yeah.
Leaving the room, you can start to smell this breakfast being made downstairs.
I smell breakfast. Yeah, so let's go and have breakfast. You know what? I don't care about where he is. Let's go and get breakfast.
Either way. Yeah.
I'm gonna slowly make my way back to the tavern.
Okay, still stealthing, or are you just gonna walk it?
Jump off the roof.
Okay.
I've got to roll acrobatics again.
No, well, yeah, you are.
Come on, sick backflip. 11. Yeah.
No,
9.
9. Okay, well, you make it to the ground.
Didn't die. I'll take it.
You didn't sprain your ankle or anything, but you just kind of
like you're doing the walk of shame in the morning. Back to
I ain't no one, bitch.
So we're sitting down and having breakfast then.
Yeah, Thora seems no sign of Titus yet. You guess he's having a line as well. Thora is again up and about. She's busy. She puts a couple of plates of food in front of you. There you go. Comes with the rooms.
Sup?
Thank you all.
Mr. Halfling, how are you doing?
I'm good. Wink, wink.
Pronce looks up at her and says, "I came for the food, not the conversation." And then just looks down at his dinner and goes to it.
Well, aren't you a morning person?
No.
Well, yeah, that's called sarcasm, love.
Pronce just looks up at her with a look that says, "Shh."
She's sort of like, she's regarding you with a bit of humour in her eyes, like, okay. And she kind of looks at you, Bork, and she's like, "Is your buddy, is he?"
You can call it that if you want. Talking about buddies, did you see our friend the other night?
Well, no, he said he was going to meditate out in the stable, so I haven't been out there yet this morning.
Okay, thank you. I'll go check that out in a bit.
Okay. You arrive back at the inn, just... they're still eating as you walk in. Are you walking in front, or are you coming back through stables, or just...
I guess I come back through the stables.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you walk back into the main building then, and they're sitting down for breakfast, and
Do you want some breakfast?
What fruit have they got? What fruit do you have?
It's apples.
A
couple of pears.
Apples and pears, that's fine.
Yeah.
Are they vegan approved, gluten free?
They don't need to be gluten free.
Everything is gluten-free now.
If you don't have vegan apples, it's just something wrong with your establishment.
Do you say this out loud? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
She looks and goes, I never much one for magic. I don't know what any of these words mean.
Me neither, I guess.
Ignore him as being an idiot.
Me neither, I guess.
How's your bovril?
Actually, I haven't had any bovril. Have you got bovril?
Well, I could whip up some if you like.
Please.
Why is bovril a thing in this universe?
I don't know. You made it a thing when we did the intro.
Yeah. I have to live up to
Summon bovril.
It's a brand name, isn't it?
I like it in real life.
She comes back with a steaming cup of beef juice.
Thank you.
Beef juice.
That's what's really going to get me through today. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, not to my particular taste, but
It's not to many particular tastes.
yeah, you're an interesting gentleman, Bork Mantle. She gives you a wink and goes to get you some apples.
Pronce takes a big sniff, like, smells like a barn in here.
I'm pretty sure that's the bovril.
Meaty, maybe, but not
There's only
barney.
one person at this table that smells of horses right now.
It used to smell a little singed, so I wouldn't go too far with the smelling thing. I was following the head guardsman. He was sneaking home very late at night. I'm growing increasingly suspicious of him. I also think today we should go and check out Martin Summerfield's house.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's finish up eating and then go and get to it.
So just as you finish your breakfast, Titus comes downstairs and he's he's looking bright and breezy. He's like, yes, some of Thor's cooking, have you? She knows how to cook a meal. Well, trust you boys will be back later on tonight.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, have yourselves a good day then.
You too.
See you later.
Yes. It's a bountiful harvest to you. But Pronce says it in that kind of like slightly dismissive kind of like, I'm eating my meal, like,
Yeah.
a good day, sir.
He kind of looks at you a bit
I said
funny.
good day.
He kind of looks at you a bit funny and then goes, yeah, sure. You get the feeling like him being a dwarf, it's not really his god, sort of thing. But and he goes back. He goes back out into the kitchen.
Cool.
So, okay.
So, let's finish up our meal and then get going.
Before we go to the house, we should go to the blacksmith. It should be on the way.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, off of the main street. Like basically,
Everything's off the main
a few
street.
doors. Yeah, it's not a big town. A few doors down, actually, the blacksmith. You can sort of start to hear the sounds of some hammering
Let's go to the
and
blacksmith.
that.
We're going to get some arrows.
Gonna go to the blacksmith.
We're going to go to the blacksmith again.
You didn't pick up your hand axe. You should probably get another hand axe.
That's true. You never did pick up your hand axe.
No, but I did pick up the other axe.
Yeah,
Sure.
but
That's true, but that's more of like a wood chopping axe.
there's no harm in having 3 weapons.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll ask what he's got in stock.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe they picked up that hand axe,
Yeah,
considering
so-
those guys went and put out the house. Maybe they found that there before the house was burnt down.
Yeah. Okay. So arriving at the
Blacksmith.
the blacksmith. It looks to be one of the larger of the guys who you saw running towards the fire the previous evening, and he kind of gives you a look at her. Oh, morning there, lads. How you doing? What can I do for you?
I was hoping to pick up some arrows, and I was wondering if you've got any other bows as well.
Sure. Well, what have you got there? You got a short bow?
Yeah. Just a short bow.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really got anything fancy. Take me a couple of days. I can knock up a longbow for you, but
How much would that be?
that would be 50 gold.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
I haven't got 50 gold.
Yeah.
How about you take Pronce? And we take a bow.
Hey!
At least
I'm joking.
At least it's pigeon.
How much are arrows?
How much are arrows? Arrows. Do you 20 for a gold?
20 for a gold. I'll take 40.
Okay. Do you want to mark that down on your
Yeah, I know.
sheet?
You went up to the burning house yesterday, right?
Oh, that I did.
Did you happen to come across a hand axe that was buried in the face of a goblin?
Well, we found some badly burnt goblin corpses in there, but I didn't really get too close to them.
Okay,
It was all burned up by the time we got in there.
that's fair enough. Do you happen to have like a hand axe?
He goes rummaging around the back. Goes, oh, this will do probably. And he hands you one. It's not that different from your original one, really. It's sort of different design on the handle. It's been carved a little bit better.
Okay.
Maybe you get the feeling he puts a little bit of time into his stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll do that for 5 gold if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
You gonna get anything, Pronce?
Nah, I don't need anything metal. And I've got fire.
Is there anywhere that Pronce can purchase more spells?
Spells, not really.
Okay.
That's kind of you'd learn them as you level up. If we want to fully, there's a little bit of out of character discussion. If we want to fully roleplay it, you can make it really hard on you, and you'd have to literally find someone to teach you the spell each time, and then you would have to wait till you level up. But generally, we can just sort of say that you've got a spell book, and you have to level up to get the extra ones.
Okay,
really.
find out.
When do we next level up?
What are you at the moment, XP wise?
4, 3, 5 each.
5. You're not quite there yet. It's not a huge jump from 2 to 3, but if I can just find it, 900.
And how else can we get experience points?
For doing
Just combat.
stuff.
Doing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, not necessarily just combat.
Just quest-based stuff.
Yeah, like I might award you some for doing a particularly
The orphanage.
great.
or the-
Well, yeah. Well, not necessarily like you completed the quest. Here's some experience points, but maybe, and also the possibly like
Can't be right.
like solving a particularly good puzzle, or like if you discover a trap and disarm it, or like there's like a locked door or something. Not a locked door.
Are you saying we can't just go and grind?
Go out and collect me 10 collect 10 bear assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the rate our character's doing combat is probably not wise. Okay. Well, I think we've got everything we need from here.
Yep, I don't need any supplies. Let's go and have some conversational.
Could you
Okay.
point us in the direction of Martin Summerfield's place, please?
Martin, okay, here. Well, if you take the next left down there, follow it a couple houses down, then go right, and left again, and just keep on going north. He's the last house on the left.
Oh, and do you know when the guard post closes?
Well, Lambert tends to stand a little bit later than Barrick, but he's generally knocks off about 6, 7 o'clock.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's head to the Summerfield's place then.
Okay, so it takes you about 5-10 minutes to find your way along. The instructions were pretty much just like go left, then go right, then go left, and that, and it's sort of a little bit. It wasn't exactly like here's a GPS route or anything.
Yeah, sure.
Takes you about 5 minutes. You find quite a nice cottage. Like you said, it's the end of the road, the last one on the edge of town. Fairly well kept front garden, sort of thing, but seems a little quiet.
Okay.
It's not that.
Should we disturb him? Should we knock on his door?
I think we should knock on the door.
Yeah.
By we, I mean not Pronce. Pronce, why don't you survey the area with your dog?
Yeah, go take your pigeon for a walk.
You want me to be deaf and blind, basically, is what you're saying?
No.
I mean, you can. Bork, do you mind keeping an eye on him?
I'll just have a little snoop around the outside of the building for now, and if I use my investigation to just have a look at the surroundings, see if there's anything funny about his house, maybe.
Make an investigation check.
So I got +5 investigation, so 15 total.
Nothing outwardly seems out of place. It does look to be a fairly well constructed house. It's like better. It's not like the cabin that the other one was. This is more kind of. I don't know. It just looks a bit more solid.
Okay, so this is somebody with a little bit more money, maybe, guys.
Yeah, maybe.
It looks like he's a little better off.
We're not robbing him. Shut up.
Yeah, but like, that's. I don't know what other way to
Just looks like higher quality
describe it.
firewood.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all I'm saying.
No, you're not burning it either. We've been through this.
It's maybe a little bit bigger than the cabin you were in.
Okay.
It just looks like I say better constructed, and this is more of a. It's not really a townhouse, but like by the standards of this town, it's better than the cabin.
So I'm pottering around looking at things while you knock on the door then.
Sound effects.
Good Foley work.
Thanks,
I like
man.
it.
Thanks.
He doesn't answer straight away, but 20-30 seconds go by, and you see a sort of a face appear at the window, and then the door sort of opened a crack. Can I help you?
Good morrow to you, sir.
He kind of looks down, like he was looking at you, and then he heard the voice, and he looks down and sees Bork there, waving at him. So, well, what can I do for you?
We're here. I wanted to ask about your son, if you don't mind talking about it.
Well, sure. I mean, I already talked to the watchman, but you know, are you helping them look for my boy?
Yeah, we're trying to help them out.
Okay. Well, come on in. Sort of shows you into like a sort of main living area. There's some furniture, there's fireplace, and yeah, there's some bookshelves which you didn't see in the other one. This guy, maybe you get the feeling, is a little bit more learned, and that, as you said, it's a little bit, maybe a bit more wealthy than the others were.
Okay, but I'm going straight for the bookshelf. Can I have a quick look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do perception or investigation.
Well, it depends. What are you doing? Are you?
Ideally, I'm looking for a book that might teach me something useful.
Okay. I guess we'll call this perception because you're looking at titles.
Okay. 2 + 4, 6.
I mean, there's nothing really relevant. It depends. I mean, there's a lot of, you get some local history ones. There's one or two that are like sort of written about like the royal bloodline and stuff, and
but nothing up.
Yeah,
nothing that's going to like give me insight into the mysteries of the other worlds.
No, there's some books on like herbs and like flowers and things that you notice.
I'll just leaf through one of those while these guys are talking.
Okay. Yeah.
So we ask. Well, we sit down and let him talk to us.
Sure. As well, what do you want to know? I mean, Officer Lambert said to keep looking, and I don't know, nothing's come up yet.
How many days ago was it that it happened?
A week ago. Last week. Whereabouts
did they break in?
I went into town to get some produce, and I left Tomas here playing, and I came back. It looked like the back door had been kicked into the kitchen.
What else was there? Was there anything else obvious that had been touched?
It looked like been a bit of a struggle. Some stuff got knocked over, but they just took my boy.
I glance up from the book and ask, did you hear talking? Did anybody say a word? Was it men? Was it goblins? What was it?
I wasn't here. I was in town. He was gone when I came back.
How long were you out for?
Half an hour.
It seems like it might be someone you know then. Do you regularly make that trip?
I don't know, every couple of days. Not on the same day though. I don't really talk to many people in town. Not since Maggie died.
It must be hard for you with raising a son on your own.
Yeah, it's not easy. Just want him back though.
Well, we'll do our best to try and find him.
I'm putting the book on the shelf and giving a look to the guys like, I think we're done. Like, are we just talking to a grieving man right now? Like, are we just stirring his pot, so to speak?
Excuse me, sorry, I had like a really good breakfast. Have you got a toilet upstairs, downstairs? Well, I mean,
yeah, I mean out back in we've got an outhouse.
Okay, do you mind if I just go out back?
Sure. I mean, yeah, knock yourself out.
Thank you.
Can he roll perception to see if he finds anything interesting?
I don't know. It depends. Does he want to or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So now you're checking the outhouse for interesting things.
Yeah. Sure. Make a perception check.
Cool.
Are you checking the inside of the outhouse, or are you literally just like as you go out looking at the?
As I go out. Just
okay. Make a perception check.
19.
That's pretty good. I mean, it was a week ago, so there's not really any sort of signs of breaking. Although it does. I mean, there's not like stuff knocked over or anything. The back door does look damaged as you go through it, so you know holds up.
Okay.
Again, nothing really left over after a week.
Okay.
Evidence-wise.
While he's out there, we're just kind of indoors, like in that awkward silence of waiting for somebody to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's super awkward. It's really awkward.
I kind of turn to the guy and say to him, so did you have a good harvest?
He kind of just sort of looks at you. So I don't really do much farming.
You can ignore my. What do you do?
Sort of study.
Oh, what do you study?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. My father used to work at the university. No, not here, obviously. In the capital.
Okay. Thank you for your help. We're going to wait for a friend outside and then we'll leave you be.
Okay. Let me know if you find Tomas.
Of course.
Or even hear anything. I need to know.
We'll do everything we can. We're going to go back to the guard post, I think.
Sure. Okay.
You finished pooping?
I thought...
Did you use the toilet, or you just...
Well, I thought if I get to the toilet now, can I just look inside?
Sure, yeah.
Perception again?
Yeah, go for it.
1.
Critical fail for looking into a toilet.
I'm not even going to roll. So
It's your rule. Come on, I want to know how this goes wrong. If it goes wrong.
I was just going to make a joke, but it's 41. Okay, so you go to open the toilet, you don't realise it's a push door, and you go to pull it, and you just kind of, but you keep your pace going, and you kind of just walk straight into the door.
Okay.
It's kind of dumb. And then you open it.
I look around and no one's looking at me, so thank God for that.
You got to wave it. You got to look. You don't know it, but you've got a bit of a red mark on your nose from looking into the door.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
I'm going to assume everything looks kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a book next to the toilet, a small vase with some flowers in them, like daffodils.
Are you thinking about taking flowers?
I'm thinking.
You already looted the dead guy who's...
Please don't tell the book.
I'm just thinking, I don't know many guys that, put flowers out, and it's usually the wife's job, so...
That's slightly suspicious, I suppose, but maybe he just takes stinky dumps.
It might just be really fucking sexist, guys.
Hey, this is old-timey.
So you're saying you're from a different time?
Yeah.
Fucking Tory voters.
I mean, this is the world of D&D. Men and women can do anything.
We were all told that.
There's not boy jobs and girl jobs. Okay, that's about going to do it for this episode. As always, we hope you've enjoyed it. Tune back in next time for the next chapter of our adventure. We always want to hear your thoughts, comments and questions about the show, and you can get in contact with us on Twitter and Facebook, both of which we're at Pretend With Dice. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please rate and review us as well. We really want to hear your opinions, and it helps us to reach new audiences. Once again, thanks so much for listening. See you all next time.